Aloha and welcome to the Be Positive, Be Spontaneous, Have Fun District 49 podcast. I'm your host, Laura Reed. I was just laughing like crazy with our guest because she's so fun and I'm so excited to have her. It's my pleasure to welcome Sherry Imamura Ryan as our guest today. Many of you probably already know her. Sherry joined Toastmasters in March 2000 and is a charter member of Pineapple Country Catalyst, Hawaii Speakers Bureau, and Pathways Central Toastmaster Clubs. She has served as an area and division director and is currently the District 49 Education Committee Chair and the Youth Leadership Program Manager, which I'd love to hear more about that as well. Sherry retired in 2011 after 37 years with the federal government. You survived working for the U.S. Department of Labor. My goodness. So she's retired now and is enjoying Toastmasters full time. Welcome, Sherry.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for saying yes and being our guest today. I'm so happy you're here. So the first segment is intended as kind of just a warm-up to also get to know you a little bit of insight about you. You mentioned Inside the Actor's Studio, these questions reminded you of, and they are in fact inspired by that because I love that show too. So, but this is just 5 questions, rapid fire 5. Are you ready to play, Sherry?
I am ready.
Question number 1, who inspires you?
Well, Laura, there's too many people that inspire me to name anyone. Plus, I'm afraid I'd forget someone. So I'm going to say there are many. And I noticed that all those people have one thing in common. They all work hard to help others.
Oh, I love that. So people that work hard to serve others.
Yes.
Inspires you. How beautiful. What is your favorite and least favorite word?
Cuss words or regular? No, just kidding, just kidding. Well, lately, my favorite word has been NAP, nap. Because at my age, I really need one every day. But that seems to be the time everybody calls me. So I haven't been taking too many NAPS.
Okay, and my your least favorite? Yeah.
My least favorite word is me. It's not that I don't want to ever say the word me, but I don't like, 2 things. I don't like to talk about myself usually very much. And then I don't like it when people always want to talk about me. It's all about me. But other than that, I'm good with any word.
Oh, you're so humble. Thank you, Sherry. And thank you for not cussing. This is a family show.
Just started.
All right, number 3. What is your most used filler word?
My most is either okay or so. So don't time me. I'll count all my filler words, okay?
I'll try. Yeah, if you don't count mine, I won't count yours. It's a deal.
Won't.
All right, what is your most reoccurring nervousness symptom when you're speaking?
I think I have a bad memory. I'm not sure if I do or not, but because of that, I always rely on notes. And especially in Zoom, it makes it too easy to rely on notes. So I have papers stuck all over my large monitor. One time I had it stuck over so much that I was muted and I didn't know, and people were trying to say, put this, but they had pages stuck all over their faces. So it took a while.
I love it. Knowing you, I don't think you need all those notes personally.
I'm not sure yet. We'll find out.
The worst, I don't know if this happened to you, but I've stuck sticky notes and then they fall off as I'm speaking and you're trying to hide that you're searching frantically. Oh my goodness. All right. Question number 5, last one. What is your go-to mantra before delivering a speech? What do you like to tell yourself?
Well, it's ironic because I'm looking for your face up. I always tell other people, but doing a speech is really easy. Just talk story and have fun. of course, when it's me doing the speech, somehow I'm already scared and everything. So I don't know if that works, but I have to keep telling myself, talk, story, and have fun. So that's what I told myself all morning.
I love that. Oh, yeah. Well, I hope you're already having fun. And
I am.
good. We're going to get to talking story next. I love that. Talk story and have fun. I'm
Talk
going to remember
story.
that one. Absolutely. Would you share with us some of your Toastmaster journey? I know in our discussions already, you mentioned how shy you are. And of course, no one thinks that of you, I'm sure, when they meet you. And I'm sure other Toastmasters members have that same experience. I know I do, where
Yes.
I'm actually very introverted and shy. No one actually believes that, but I am. And I believe
Mhm.
you too. I believe you are. We're part of that club.
Yes.
But tell us about how has that changed at all with Toastmasters, and yeah, some of your story about it.
What happened is, you know what's really odd? Every time I talk about my shyness, everybody, all the Toastmasters tells me, I'm introverted and shy too. And I go, oh, come on, give me a break. But
It's true.
it's been a pleasure and an honor to be a Toastmasters member because I've been doing it for 21 years. So even though I'm shy, most people can't tell because I've learned how to speak with confidence, even though I may not necessarily be confident. But what I like best is whenever, because I've learned so many things when I'm helping somebody with Toastmaster stuff, or I'm sharing with a teenager in the youth leadership program how to deliver. And wouldn't you know, they call now. Just a second. I'm going to throw my phone way
Okay.
up there.
At least I didn't wake you up from your nap, so that's good.
And so when, see, I was going to say something profound. Now it went out of my head. No, or when I'm teaching a teenager in the youth leadership program how to create a speech and how to deliver it, all of a sudden I forget my shyness. It just goes away because when in serving others, it becomes all about them and not about you. And then your shyness isn't there. But of course, after you've helped them, your shyness returns. So I'm still shy, but I can disguise it better because of Toastmasters.
I love that. And that it seems like that's really who you are too. When you're serving others, you're so connected and present in that moment that you're
Yes.
really not even thinking about yourself. And so you're not even telling yourself you're shy at all.
Uh-huh,
So
uh-huh.
you had mentioned that, you've learned to be more confident, even though you don't consider yourself still confident. Is there a point where that kind of merges and you actually become confident?
Well, they do say, I don't know, um, this sounds maybe too nerdy, but with behavior modification, when you act a certain way, if you act confident, you then ultimately become confident, even without even realizing it. So I think there's a lot to that with practice and reaching out. And I always try to tell myself, telling a speech is sharing of yourself, things that happen to you, lessons that you've learned with others. And when I view it that way, it doesn't become as overwhelmingly scary or anything like that. And then how about you? Do you think that Toastmasters has helped you with your shyness?
Yeah, absolutely. For me too, it's about being connected with, I think, your own story and how that story, not about you, but how it can help inspire other people. And when I realized that, when that finally clicked for me through sharing at Toastmasters and in other ways, that really helped me as well. Kind of like you get out of it's not so much about how I'm feeling, it's more about the gift I can give someone else to help them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Well,
Yeah.
I always remember, I think it was last year in the speech contest, you made a speech about how somebody made you feel bad about yourself. And I've had a lot of those same experiences, but don't you think those actually are things that, in a way, it's a welcome experience because it teaches you things. And for me, it's taught me that it's really important to be kind to others and think about what your words and actions can make people feel. What do you think about? about those lessons.
Absolutely, Sherry. I totally agree. It's all of those things are gifts, like all the challenges that you may have faced growing up, even, being shy, having to overcome fears. It definitely makes you stronger. If we're all
Mhm.
born totally confident and ready to go out there and grow up that way, then
Mhm.
it wouldn't be as valued as it is too.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think all of those things are really gifts that we learn from, and everything is a
Mhm.
lesson we're meant to learn. So
I
I
believe that.
agree.
I
Yeah.
agree too.
Yeah.
I
All right.
agree.
You're not taking over as host, are you?
I am. No, I don't want to be.
See, yeah, I know you. You want to make it not all about you, but we really want to get to know you too.
Of
And
course.
so something else you mentioned is that English is not your first language,
Mhm.
correct? What would you like to share with others, other Toastmasters out there too, that English is not their first language and they have this extra challenge to face when they're delivering a speech?
Well, I never really thought about it until I went with my friend Rose Suimoto, who was the area director for the HMCOA Bilingual Club, and most of those members, English was not their first language, and I had to make a short speech, and I said, you know what? English is not my first language too, so I have a message to share with them. That having an accent is not a detriment. I think it's charming. Uh, I think when you're trying to learn how to speak, that's commendable. Anybody learning another language is something to be proud of. So no shame. In fact, heck, I know Americans who can't speak English as well as some foreigners. So we all want to improve ourselves and make things better for others. So I wanted to share with them that English is not my first language. And I was born in Japan. I had difficulty speaking English when we first arrived in Hawaii in 1959, the year Hawaii became a state. And in those days, your parents didn't want you to speak your first language. They wanted you to assimilate. They wanted you to fit in, and they wanted you to speak English, both inside the house and outside of the home. But now I'm thinking, darn it, I wish I had practiced my Japanese more. I can understand it, but sometimes I can't think of the words if I'm trying to speak it. So I'm looking forward to maybe speaking to Aiko Hemingway, and she can teach me some stuff again so I can relearn.
Oh, fantastic. I love that message to really be proud of your heritage and
Oh,
embrace
yes.
it. And it goes along with what we all want to be more of, which is authentic in our
Mhm.
delivery of our speeches. And so if that's part of you being authentic, then you can never go wrong with that.
I totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely. So wait, you're in 9 Toastmasters clubs, and I'm always seeing you at every single event there ever is. So, tell us about what you love most about being such an active member of Toastmasters, and how other, maybe especially retired Toastmasters who have, more time and want to be more involved, can be more involved.
Yeah, that's true. Because after I retired in 2011, I thought I had retired, but I just went from a paying job to a volunteer job, and some days I spend more than 8 hours a day on the computer with a meeting or working on some paperwork for Toastmasters. But the main reason I like to be involved is I'm nosy, so I like to know what's going on. Plus, another thing is that my mom had dementia, and I'm just kind of really worried that it might be hereditary. So I figured I better keep my brain busy. So, what they say is that if you keep yourself busy mentally and you go out and you socialize with people, that you may have dementia, but what happens is that the electrical impulses, you know how people that have Alzheimer's have holes in their brains, it just jumps over and it goes from one, I don't know what the right words are. It's like you don't realize you have dementia or Alzheimer's. So I
Yeah.
hope I don't have it yet, but who knows, right?
Well, you keep your brain, it sounds like, so active that, yeah, I understand that. It's the synapses are they're just always
Uh-huh.
firing off and connected when you're
Right.
working them, right? So that makes sense. That makes a lot
Hmm.
of sense. What can you share with members who aspire to be area directors, and be involved more?
I think I was happy in my own club and my different clubs being a club officer, but I really, really encourage people to be part of the district leadership. That's where you get to meet a lot of the district leaders who I felt like, oh my gosh, you know how we used to think about our teachers and movie stars and stuff? Oh, I'm not worthy to be in their presence or just to speak to them, But I found out they're like regular people, they got weaknesses and strengths. And I also, as an area director, and a division director, I met so many wonderful members. And that's what I just love meeting people, and they are fantastic. And they're so grateful. When I was division director and I traveled to the Big Island, they were so happy because that year I went 3 times to visit them and they were thrilled. So they really felt like I cared about them. And I do, so I really encourage you to go up on the next rung of the ladder leadership and become a district leader, because you will learn too from all the different clubs. I stole or borrowed a lot of great ideas that they had to make my own home club better. So that was great.
Fantastic. So it sounds like, okay, if you're a nosy person and you like to know what's going on behind the scenes and you want to steal some ideas, but no,
That's
in all
right.
seriousness, like making those connections, it sounds like you've made such amazing relationships and connections with those other leaders.
Oh yeah,
Really
they're
invaluable.
fabulous.
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Would you share with us more about the youth leadership program for Toastmasters and how others might be able to be involved?
Sure, I think that would be so great because I noticed you have a teenage son.
I do.
Is he a senior in high school?
He is a sophomore right now,
Oh
and
wow.
he's confined to his bedroom, told not to stomp around. Usually he's playing basketball in the house, and my whole computer shakes. So yes, I'm a
Yeah,
teenager.
yeah, I've heard some strange things happen. Yeah, I went out to look for my son to tell him, my 40-something-year-old son, to tell him not to make noise, but I couldn't find him. So who knows what might
Who
happen?
knows? It's
But the youth,
authentic. It's
yeah,
okay.
the youth leadership program is a fabulous program. It's for kids or students ages. It can be. I wouldn't go much lower than maybe middle school and above. I know Nelson used to teach fifth graders at Punahou, but I found that I think middle schoolers are the best. They're really receptive to learning. They're excited, and they're still not that busy that they can't really participate. The youth leadership program is a set of 8 workshops. They have workbooks and they have lesson plans for the coordinators. And if you conduct those, you do get credit towards your DTM in pathways. So that's another incentive. But the real incentive is to make a difference in young people's lives. When they first start, they don't speak very well. They're shy. But by the 8th session, it's a world of difference. And there's Dan and Rodora Orias have a youth leadership program at Aliamado Middle School. Mark Cooper has had one at James Campbell High School. And right now, Brian Lynch has one on Zoom with the Civil Defense Patrol or something like that. And so Zoom is a perfect environment for that. I just recently helped one in District 1 in California where they had students across the continental United States. And that was a lot of fun. And the kids got so close, they didn't want to leave.
That's fantastic. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of members, I know I would love to be more involved in that.
Yeah.
What's the first
Okay,
step to
I'll
go
hold
to?
you to it.
Yeah, please go to is there a link on the website?
There is a page on the District 49 website that talks about youth leadership. But if you're interested, let me know. And I think what I notice works really well is to have guest speakers at the different sessions. So I am trying, after all the different activities are done, I'd like to get back on board with the youth leadership program. And next year, Sepi Uta Holaketuai, the district director, is going to be taking over that program. So I know you and I can help her,
Yeah,
Laura.
I would love that. No, thank you. So it sounds like the best way is to get in touch with you, but don't call you during your nap time.
In the afternoon.
In the afternoon, all right. You, Sherry, you embrace so much of what this podcast, our mission is to be positive, spontaneous, to have more fun. And yet you do so much. And every time I see you, even if something's going awry on Zoom, technology and all that that's out of our control, you always manage to laugh and stay positive. What are some of your tips for how to live life more like that, especially after this past year?
Uh, I don't know. I don't think I'm a guru or a Yoda or anything like that, but
That
it
makes you
does
even
help.
more guru because you don't think that.
Well, after you reach a certain age, when you look back, and I think when I was younger, it was all about the career, and I was coming up during the feminist movement, and that's why my name is hyphenated and all that. And I was thinking, what was I thinking? Ryan would be so much easier than Imamura Ryan, but what can I do, right? Maybe it's not too late to change it, but you never know. But what I found out is that to be grateful for everything in life, for the wonderful friends I've met, for Toastmasters, for all the different ways we can help people. And if things get messed up, like I'm not talking so fluently right now, I that's how it is. What it is, So don't sweat it. And you know what they say: don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. Ooh.
I love that. Yeah, that's such a good quote when we get
Mhm.
kind of weighed down in all of that. Well, I've seen
Mhm.
you at so many virtual events. Like I said, you're always positive, not sweating the small stuff for sure. But what have you learned through all of that? What are some, tips that you've learned or things that we shouldn't do? I mean, I feel like by now everyone should know how to unmute themselves, but I'm always surprised maybe we don't. But what are some things that you'd really just love to see more of or less of?
Well, no, I'd love to see more people attend all of the events. I'd love to see more members. We've been losing a lot of members across the world in Toastmasters because a lot of them are either afraid of Zoom, the virtual environment, or they are tired of it. I mean, let's face it, after a while, you do get Zoom fatigue. That's true. Who could have thought this big butt could feel so tired after sitting on a chair for so many hours? But it can. Okay, Slava, you can edit that part out.
No, leave it in, Slava. No.
but you know what I mean. After a while, it gets
Yeah.
tiring. So, but I always say, oh, people should realize they're muted, and then I find myself forgetting to unmute myself, or I'm clicking on something. A lot of times, I click myself out of the Zoom meeting, and then so I was the host. That was horrible. So, I guess not to take ourselves so seriously. Things happen. You know what I say. I have to watch my language. Things happen. And it's not a big deal. People always are nice and they will excuse you for any mistakes you might make.
I love that. Yeah, things happen. I hear you.
Yeah, things happen.
Yeah, I think it's like when you travel or go for a long road trip or you're in an airplane and you're just sitting there and yet you get so tired. Maybe that's part of it. But what I've heard is going on in our brains is because we're looking at the screen and we're looking for social cues and we're trying to remember to look in the lens and we're reading things and we're, trying to follow along and thinking at the same time that it really is exhausting. Whereas in person, it's just this natural flow of energy and reading people and just being really present and grounded in where you
Yes.
are, that we're really lacking on Zoom.
Well, yeah, and I just realized I've been looking at your face for the last 15 minutes instead of the camera. I said, oh.
It's so hard to do both. Like I know,
It's
that looking
difficult.
in the lens is what we should be doing. And yet I'm so sick of looking at this little just black circle and pretending it's a
Yes,
face and it's not a
that is
face.
true. It seems it's odd to me. It's foreign because when we talk to each other, we're looking at each other's faces.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to deal with that. I mean, people are just going to have to excuse me looking off to the side.
What do you think a gift will be though from all of this past year?
This gift, I think, it was a horrible time. So many people passed away, or they're sick, or they lost their jobs. They've had hard economic times. But the gift was that the world indeed is a much smaller place than we thought. We could reach so many people through virtual. I've met so many fantastic Toastmasters from all around the world, and they're incredible. So I think that was the gift. And my other gift was getting my 2 shots, my COVID shots. But unfortunately, I left my card behind. So I had to go and pick it back up. But people are kind. So I was, even when with others who are forgetful. So I think that was the gift. And have you noticed that people have been kinder to each other after COVID started? And I've noticed that. I noticed people are much more patient with each other.
Yeah, I
So
think
that has been a
overall
gift.
there's more compassion, I would
Mhm,
say. And like you said, it has made the world smaller in a really beautiful way. And yeah, I've
mhm,
visited other Toastmasters clubs internationally, and we've had guests at some of our clubs that just randomly
mhm,
pop in from all over the world. And that's
mhm.
a really beautiful thing that I hope somehow we can still integrate because it's made the world bigger and smaller at the same time by connecting us all more together. And that is such a
Yeah,
gift. That's really beautiful.
that
Really
is true.
beautiful.
And we also have an Imamura family Zoom every month.
You do?
And
Oh.
yeah, we're usually pretty competitive, and we've been having baking competitions. But the next one, we're having a murder mystery. So
Oh.
I don't know what they're going to be doing.
You're so fun. Can you adopt me?
Yeah, you want to come?
Your family sounds so fun. Wait,
They're
you have a
crazy.
baking competition? And wait, how do you judge? Because you can't
We
all.
all say ours is, we always think ours is the best, but well, in the beginning, we were kind of looking, and everybody had to kind of sell their own baking product. But after a while, we said, oh, everybody's a winner, just show what you have. And that's just, I mean, there's no way because my husband always has to pretend whatever I made was delicious, even though it might not have been so. And
I
there
think
I
it's
am
so
looking at your
sweet.
face.
That's
Uh,
love. It's so sweet. He still pretends, even if it wasn't. So wait, and Sherry, you have 10 grandchildren. Are you able to connect with them on Zoom? Is that
Some of them, but most of the grandchildren are busy playing and doing all kinds of things. And this year I'll be having 2 great grandchildren. So
oh,
I'm so thrilled.
that is
Yes,
fantastic. 2 great grandchildren.
I know.
Congratulations. Oh my goodness. So
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for everything you've shared. I would like to close with, what is your favorite quote? And can you tell us why?
My favorite quote is by Ronald Reagan,
Okay.
which I never thought he did quotes, but it's live simply, love generously, care deeply, speak kindly, leave the rest to God.
Oh,
And I think because I like it because it speaks about things that are important to me and that I have to continuously strive towards, because I'm such a control freak. I want to try to control everything, but a higher power, I should just leave it up to a higher power, whoever that higher power may be for everybody.
mhm. It's really beautiful words for us all to live by. You're such an
Oh, yeah.
inspiration because of how you serve. You inspire me. I know you inspire so many other Toastmasters out there. Thank you so much for being a guest and taking the time. And I know I'll be seeing you around. It's contest
Oh, you
season, so you're
will.
going to be
You
there.
will.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura. And you're an inspiration to me, too. Thank you so very much
Oh,
for
thank
taking over
you.
this podcast.
Oh, thank you. It's my
How are you
true
liking
honor.
it? Do you love it?
I do. I love it. I'm incredibly honored. I have really big shoes to fill. And yeah, it's super fun just to get to meet people and talk to them. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that all day long. I love it.
You're doing a great job. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sherry. Aloha.